Welcome to the Word for 2021. Today we're in Judges chapter 5. Now chapter 4 and 5 actually go together because they tell of the defeat of Sisera the general and the deliverance of Israel. Now chapter 4 is written in prose. It tells of the account step by step what took place. Chapter 5 is that of poetry. It's a song of victory. Now let me walk you through this song of victory. In verse 2, it says, "When the leaders lead and the people follow, then praise the Lord." Not every leader actually leads, and not all followers join in. They don't volunteer. But when they do, when both of those work together, then that is wonderful. Now here's the reality. Not all so-called leaders are actually leaders. They want to wait for others to take the first step. Or they wet their finger and then they put it in the air, waiting to find out which way the wind of popularity is blowing. Or they don't want to risk their position, and so they talk about what they want to do, but they actually never do anything. In reality, those are not leaders at all. But when leaders really do lead, others will follow. And when that happens, here in the scriptures it says, that is wonderful, and praise the Lord. Continuing with the song, in verse 4, there's a call to remember how the Lord shook the mountains there at Mount Sinai. And when they stepped out, that being the nation of Israel, stepped out with God, then amazing things happened. In verse 5, things seemed to change. People now were scattering in fear. It says that the roads were abandoned. Villages ceased to exist. It wasn't safe to go into town anymore. You had to find alternate ways to travel. You had to go on back roads or on side streets. Now why? Because the enemies filled the streets. Anarchy ruled the towns. Gangs seemed to roam freely, terrorizing people. Freedom was lost. It sounds a lot like today. Well, what else was taking place as we read the song? The people followed other gods. And it even says that the people were unarmed. There wasn't a shield or sword to be found in 40,000 Israelites. Everything turned, however, in verse 7, when it says, "Until I, Deborah, arose, a mother in Israel." It only takes one person to make a difference. One person can turn the tide. Deborah, her heart was stirred for the leaders and the people that wanted to do something. Now, what does it really take to turn things around? Again, it only takes one person willing to stand up and be counted. Someone who is passionate enough to say, enough is enough. One person willing to pay the price. And when people see someone like that, willing to lead and pay that price, they will follow. And so the people followed Deborah and they followed Barak. Although in the song, not everyone did follow, and those people were actually called out by name. The word says that there was much searching of heart in Reuben. That means that the people in Reuben, they wanted to simply talk, consider. They wanted to converse together, maybe have a committee meeting about what to do, but they really didn't want to get involved. And they infected other people. The people of Reuben, Gilead, Dan, and Asher, they didn't go to fight. But the people of Zebulun and Naphtali, they, it says, risked their very lives. When they were willing to step out in faith, then God fought for Israel. He caused the rain to fall, a flash flood to occur, which then brought mud throughout the entire valley, which stopped the 900 iron chariots in their tracks. Then in verse 24, we read how Jael, a woman, actually killed Sisera the general by taking a tent peg and driving it through his temple. And then how he would not be going home any longer. The song ends with verse 31 saying this, "So may all your enemies perish, O Lord, but may they who love you be like the sun when it rises in its strength." You know, this song is a reminder of what God can do with people that were simply willing to trust Him and step out in faith. What exactly did Deborah and Barak do? They provided hope for the people. Hope that God would turn things around. Hope that nothing was impossible with God. And hope that together with God, miracles can happen. And that's exactly what took place. I love this particular phrase. Whoever provides hope provides leadership. I love that phrase because it means that you and I can actually be a leader in someone's life by giving them hope. hope that God is their healer, hope that God is their helper, and hope that God is their answer no matter what they're facing. That's what people really need today. They need hope, something that only you and I can provide if we're willing to stand up and be counted. Thank you for joining the Word for 2021.